Shalom and greetings from Jerusalem, Jane. It is the day before Christmas. From my heart, in my home, here in the Jewish homelands, I want to wish a very Merry Christmas to all the Christians and anybody celebrating Christmas around the world. To my family, to my loved ones, to my friends and my followers around the world, Merry, Merry Christmas. I wish you a wonderful holiday season. Let me just say, if you happen to be with the people you want to be, if you happen to be with your loved one, count your blessings. Some of us were not that lucky this year, so count your blessings if you are sitting with the ones you want to be with. I have family in another country, that's what I'm talking about. As you come together and you celebrate the birth of Jesus, the light that came into the world, it is a very, very hard time here in Israel. Today is December 23rd. 2 days ago when I turned on my TV, there was a movie playing about a man. It was a true story about a man who saved the lives of several thousand Jewish children who became orphaned during the Second World War. The Nazis murdered their parents. I'm sitting here in Jerusalem in 2023 watching that movie while I have the Israeli Air Force above my head on the way into Gaza to take out this modern day Nazi Hamas inside the Gaza Strip, who in 2023 has made so many Israeli children, so many Jewish children orphans because they brutally murdered and executed their parents on that horrendous October 7, or some of the children who lost their parents because we were informed that they were murdered while held captive inside the Gaza Strip. As you are coming together these days now, and there is all of the preparations, and you are cooking and cleaning, and tomorrow you go to church, you come home, you sit at the big dinner table and you have your turkey or your goose or whatever you eat, and you walk around the tree and you're giving out presents and gifts to each other. Are you thinking about the nation where it all happened? Are you thinking about that you are celebrating the birth of a Jewish baby born to a Jewish mother in Judea more than 2,000 years ago, a boy who grew up as a Jew, the light to the world. And today that nation is at war. 1,200 people were brutally murdered, executed, burned alive, raped, decapitated because of a deep demonic hate towards the Jewish people. I really hope from the bottom of my heart, as a Christian myself, that this Christmas is not going to go by without you stopping, pausing, and saying we need to do something for Israel. We need to do more than just to pray for Israel. So much trauma in this country, so many broken hearts, so many funerals. There are victims from October 7 that will never be identified because, well, they can't find their remains, or from the remains, it's simply not possible to identify them. There are still hostages held captive inside the Gaza Strip, and we hear the horror stories of the people who was held captive and is now set free. I'm wondering, when you go to church tomorrow on the December 24 for your Christmas service, what are you going to hear? Well, I mean, of course, you're going to hear the message of Christ. You're going to hear the Christmas message, and the birth of Jesus, and you're going to sing the songs. But if you leave that service and you haven't prayed for Israel, or there has been spoken and it said, here we come together to celebrate this glorious occasion, the birth of Jesus. The land of Israel, the land of the Bible, is right now at war. Our Jewish brothers and sisters, the trauma they are going through, the desperation. Let's stand today in here in church and come together in prayer for Israel. If you haven't had prayer services in your church, if you haven't been out in the streets with the Israeli flags, if you leave your service today or tomorrow on the 24th and not a word has been said about Israel and the war that we are in and the atrocities that took place while you're going to celebrating the birth of Jesus, then I hope that you are going to be deeply grieved in your hearts and that you're going to do something about it. We as Christians cannot stay silent. You cannot celebrate the birth of Jesus in Judea, in the lineage going down to King David, and not also stand with Israel and love the Jewish people, the land where it all took place. For such a time as this, it is too serious for you not to get active and for you not to stand with Israel and do something for Israel. Could it be that the hatred we see towards the Jewish people, whether they are being killed and attacked here in Israel, or they are being chased down in the streets in London, or they are marching in the streets of London and New York, and they are calling from the river to the sea, Palestine should be free, calling for the annihilations of the Jewish people. Could it be it's because the light of the world was Jewish? And could it be because when we're talking about Israel, we are touching the apple of God's eye? Good and evil, light and darkness, this is God's land. The Savior of this world was born a Jew. So for such a time as this, don't just celebrate this Christmas and be completely indifferent to what is happening in Israel, the murder, the atrocities, the rapes that took place here, and Israel still being attacked today, and with soldiers fighting in the Gaza Strip, soldiers up in the north not knowing when is we going to get into a full-blown war with Hezbollah, Israel also being attacked in the south. The Holy Land is at war. The Holy Land is at war while you are sitting at the Christmas dinner table and you are walking around the streets and you are sitting in your church hearing the message of a Jewish boy being born not far from me here in Jerusalem. I know that this is a little bit of a different Christmas message, but you cannot stay silent. These are the days like it was during the Second World War, when the Jewish world is looking and saying, who is doing something? Who is not staying quiet, but who is out and standing for Israel for such a time as this? Because the other side are certainly doing their part towards Israel. So I just shared a little bit from my heart in this Christmas message. So again, very Merry Christmas. May you have a blessed and a joyous Christmas season, holiday seasons with your family, celebrating the birth of a Jewish boy in Judea. For such a time as this, we cannot stay silent. For such a time as this, we stand with Israel. May God bless you, all of you wonderful Christians around the world, and come to Israel next year. Okay? Merry Christmas.